I apologize for having to break this video into at least 2 segments. We finished off with, Revelation 13. I paraphrase it here. It's just, the one who has knowledge calculates 666. It actually says, let the one who has knowledge calculate 666. So do not get back up on the desk. I do not want to have to re-say that. Get down. Come on, Blue. Sit in my lap comfortably. Okay, I'm trying to explain. So yeah, in the previous video, explain the horns and heads and the soul chart, which I will give a refresher. The 4 base tendencies. Okay. So on from here, Daniel 7. Oh boy. So Daniel 7, we have this beast here, which was a lion with wings. And it was described as standing up like a human, and the wings were ripped off. And these 4 were the seraphim from Revelation 4. So a lion with wings is a lion and eagle, so that's red and green. You get red and green. Here, because the wings were ripped off and it stood up like a human, that would be a human and lion. Yeah, human and lion. So it'd be that. Here we go. I could do a little bit more explaining here. This guy, the lion with the wings, the red and green. Who is that? That is that head. The fatal wound head. That is the false Messiah. Yeah, let's go back. And in Revelation 13, we have 2 beasts. We have the beast out of the sea, and this is the beast out of the earth. And the beast out of the earth, this is its leading head. It only has 1 head, so yeah. The beast out of the sea, this is its leading head. That's the leading head, and that's the leading head. So earth beast below, sea beast below. Anyways, that was a lot of information. I hope I got that across correctly. Now, Beast 2, you might be wondering, what is this? Daniel 7, yes, this beast was described. A bear laying on his side, chewing on 3 white ribs. And, get up and eat your fill of flesh was told to it. Now, why do the 3 white ribs matter? Why not 4 white ribs? What happened to this square? Well, you see, this is a spirit of the devil. He's not going to admit this. He's not going to want to admit that. So he's just going to have 3 white ribs in his mouth. Yeah. And Beast 3. 4 possibilities, 4 heads. I'll explain here. So we have 4 wings, we have 4 heads. It's a leopard. That is very important. A leopard, a leopard, a leopard. And we have that green there. What is green again? Tendency to have faith. And if you want to know what animal that goes with, we have eagle. From what Jesus said, that is soul. Eagles have wings, so it just ends up being green all the way down. And yeah, 4 possibilities. And we notice, hey, here's this again. Here is the scar guy again. Here is that again. There he is again. This guy seems to be appearing a whole lot. And it's no coincidence that this head, this entire beast, is a leopard. It's no coincidence. That is that head. Or I should say, to make it clearer, that is that head. Anyways, moving on. We have where 666 comes from. So each 6, let's say that is a filled-in square. And a 1 is an empty square. We know that the devil doesn't want to admit he doesn't have love. So of course he's just gonna, oh yeah, what about my love? Oh no. So we just got 3 6s. I wanted to explain the 1 to 6 scale. But first of all, some oldest texts of Revelation, the oldest manuscripts, actually have 616 instead of 666. And what about 616? Why is that important? Remember the guy that was appearing a lot earlier, 616? Remember that guy? Remember him here? Know how often he appears? Yeah, it's the false Messiah. That's what it's referring to. So both in a way are correct. But, yeah, this is just one of the numbers. Oh, my brightness just went up. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. Let me grab that paper. The 1 to 6 scale. Oh, I'm so sorry that it's so grayed out. I'll explain. So these are the 4 tendencies again. The love, the faith, the inverse of forgiveness, and anger. And why is it a 1 to 6 scale? I explain that with classes. So class value equivalent to 6 is God. A class value greater than or equal to 5 is an angel. Don't focus on the description, though. That's not important. Or it is, but like not as important as actually what they are. Greater than or equal to 4 are going to be the humans who willfully accept Christ. The ones less than 4 will not willfully accept Christ. Less than 3 are demons, and less than 2 are also demons. The difference between these is these are what are called Nephilim. They are mentioned in Genesis, and I forget what the other book was, but it was something with Moses. It was the it was in Numbers when the 12 were sent out to see if they could attack the city, and then when they returned, you had Caleb and you had what was the other guy's name? Joshua, who lived. They were the only 2 who lived because God put the other 10 to death, who said, oh yeah, we can't attack the city. So, and they claimed that, oh yeah, the Nephilim lived there, stuff like that. That's lesson 3 here. Because the difference between them is that artificial stimuli, as like pain, taste, sleep, or like the feeling you get when you sleep, that's artificial stuff. And romantic love, that is artificial tendency to have love. It's weird, complicated, stuff like that, but that's all you really need to know. The lesson 3 is these are the demons that possess the boy that Jesus cast out. And if you look at what the disciples asked Jesus after he cast the demons out of the boy, Jesus said, these kind can only be kicked out by prayer. The lesson 3s. These kind I might make another video gap and just actually put in the verse what it is. Or I could just put that in the description, comment somewhere. I don't know. You can find it. Just Google like the demon-possessed boy, stuff like that, to actually find where Jesus said this. But Jesus did say this. Yeah, those were the lesson 3. Now the lesson 2, these guys were, let's actually call this... the Nephilim. Let's call these well, this is Legion. So the 2,000 pigs that drowned after they were after the demons went into the pigs. This is Legion. They cannot rest. No matter what you do, they can't rest. Well, artificial love, possibly, blah, 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 all that complicated stuff. Whatever, I'm not getting into that. But yeah, and even in a body, they can't rest. In a body, they can't rest, stuff like that. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we're left off with one, which is the devil. I'm actually going to write these as demons. Demons. For, yeah, the lesson 3 and lesson 2. Anyways, that's all that we really need with this. So I was just defining rest and artificial stimuli for my descriptions, stuff like that. I think we can intuitively understand the difference between God, angels, humans that go to heaven, humans that go to hell, Nephilim demons, and void demons. I'll call them voids as well because they beg to not be sent to the void. And we got the devil. It's pretty easy to understand what they are. So I'm going to put that back. And I'm going to continue. So, beasts, so yeah, that was 666, and why the 1 to 6 scale is a thing, all that stuff. Now it's time for God. But first, some explanation. So yeah, I just literally listed the chapter from where it was from, not even the verse, just the chapter. I was not clear at all, but yeah, this is from Jesus' greatest command. He said in heart, soul, mind, strength order. And the seraphim wasn't really listed in any specific order. I just put it with whatever lined up with it. Yeah, how do we know that there's only 3 spirits of God? Well, I'll get to explaining that. Because in Scripture, it even says there are 7 spirits of God. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, amber, orange, red. Notice how the Father is all filled in. He has all the dominant traits. So let's say Jesus wanted to forgive someone, but the Father didn't. The Father would get the final decision. But because, the Father put Jesus on the cross, it's a loophole to where the Father ends up forgiving us. It's actually kind of genius, that loophole. Yeah. Also, we'll talk about green here. I'll also talk about orange as well. How they could be found in Scripture as well. Yellow could be found. Blue, blue, not really. But violet does not do anything, from what I know. But the others kind of do. Blue, maybe one thing. Yeah, I remember. He does one thing. And you can actually find that. Even in the Old Testament, blue does one thing. So, the church letters, there were only 7 letters, but there's 8 spirits of God, right? So, I did each of these letters, and I listed a color by each one. Now, you might be wondering, hey, why do you put red at 7, not 1? Like, what's the purpose of this? How do I know that this is wrong? What's the order of this? Read the introduction to letter 7. This is in Revelation 3. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down a few more verses, and I'll come back.